What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another episode on the Do's and Don'ts series. This has been super interesting, this series. The feedback has been great, by the way, so thank you so much for that. And we're so glad it's helping assist you on your trading journey. It's really simple, really fun, but the whole aim for this series is to be useful for you. You know, you coming to this channel, you invest your time and energy into the channel. We make these videos for you, and it just helps point you in the right direction so that you know you're extracting the value, but you can actually apply it as well. And that's what I aim to do in this Do's and Don'ts series. So one do, one don't as usual. Let's dive straight in. So we'll start off with don't. Don't search for the Holy Grail. Now you might have heard this before. Stop searching for the Holy Grail because it doesn't exist, and it really doesn't. I've been trading 12 plus years in this industry, and believe you me, over that period of time, you see everything. You see so many different concepts come and go, AI, etc., bot trade, you name it, there will be something new. And it's almost like a trend every single year that there's something different that people attach onto, where they fixate on big, ginormous returns. And this is normal. This has been going on for years. It was present in the penny stock days, etc. So this has never changed, but what it does is it latches onto the vulnerable psychology of people that think, well, I need to make the biggest amount of profit possible because I only have so much in my account. I only have this amount of trading account, so I need to make this amount of return to make that work. However, think about it mathematically. Most people, they don't do the numbers. They don't realize you making, if you could just generate 5% every single day at the markets, just do the compound interest calculator, just on 5%, let alone 10 and 15, etc. Now, it's not that that can't work or you cannot see those type of returns, because sometimes you get into a winning trade and it just happens to play out really well. You know, it happens for us. However, understanding that fixating on holy grails of that, or thinking there is, not even from a return-based point of view, that let's say you're trying to learn how to trade and it just gets challenging for you. For whatever reason, you're struggling with execution, you're struggling with management, whichever type of system that you use, and you just decide there must be an easier way. And you're constantly searching for this moment in which that it's just smooth, it's just easy, there's no challenge, there's no frustration, there's no losing streaks or going back to the drawing board, but it always exists, it never changes. Doesn't matter if you trade commodities, Forex, crypto, it really doesn't matter. You're always going to endure challenge. And the problem is about this type of mindset where on an unconscious level that you're always searching for the Holy Grail, what you're telling yourself on a subconscious level is that this is too difficult for me. And when things get challenging and hard, I just need to find something that's easier. So you're almost training yourself to be weaker. And because challenge is always present in the markets, there's always going to be difficult hurdles emotionally and technically that you endure, you're then avoiding the very thing that's going to help you grow, which is why you tend to see traders that they kind of say, oh, I've got 5 years experience in the market, I've been trading for 3 years, but they've not really been trading for 3 years. What they've been doing has been dabbling and going from system to system. They don't really know how to stick to one thing. The power of sticking to one thing, of seeing that consistency, and that's actually what we're seeing in the community as well right now, as people are going through the funding process. They've stuck at it for years, right? They've not just at the slight bit of frustration or 6 months of not getting the results they want, jumping from system to system. They don't do that because they understand the power of sticking to one thing. Because what you do is every single time you do that, it's not that you can't trade another system. It's got nothing to do with that. It's the mentality of giving up and training your mind to think when something is difficult, I need to quit. So what is the chances that you think with this mentality and this mindset that you're not going to have challenge at a later stage, and then you have the audacity to think that you're going to trade high 6 figures and 7 figures? Well, you're definitely not, because statistics already showed that. And we can already see that people going through this process time and time again, even with withdrawals, they're giving their accounts back 2-3 weeks later, or they can't keep their funded account after 2 months. So really, what are you actually training your mind to do? You have to address the big elephant in the room and look at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am the problem. I need to fix my mindset, and no system, no indicator, no method is going to fix that. You have to work on your internal demons to figure out that you need to become a person equipped of the habits of a successful trader. Only then, once you adopt that, you can win with a system. And most of the industry don't understand that. That's why they go round in circles, always looking for account flips and you name it. So please save yourself headache and time. Do not search for the Holy Grail. It doesn't exist. The Holy Grail is understanding that there isn't one. And when you really get that into your brain, into your mind, you will succeed. And we're seeing that with people that have been patient for years now. They're starting to go through that. And guess what? because of the discipline that they've applied, the mentality to keep going through, to persevere through times when they're difficult, they will actually keep their accounts and they'll scale up, and you'll see it this year. It's already happening. So we'll continue to push the right message. Yes, it's not always the most attractive, it's not the most fancy. However, it's what makes you money. It's what actually scales you up so you can draw an income from that, quit your job and achieve your goals, versus fantasizing over something that doesn't really exist and a very, very small 0.01% of people achieve. Actually go for sustainability and growth and you'll win. Holy grails will just have you chasing unicorns for the rest of your trading career. And you do not want to be looking back in years in time thinking, if I just stuck to one thing for long enough, I would have been succeeding like the other people that did. So just quickly guys, if you're enjoying the content that we put out on the channel, make sure that you stay in the loop by commenting, subscribing to the channel, turn the notifications bell on so you're always in the loop of the content that we're pushing out on a regular basis. We appreciate the support, and make sure you utilize the resources that we put out. So check all the links in the description. They will help you out massively on your trading journey. Right, now back to the video. So now moving on to the do. Let me tell you what I do want you to do. Accountability. What you do need to do is have accountability in your life, in your trading. Now, the reason why this is so important is that it stops you going through the motions. So let's just address that. Your goal as a trader is not for this to just take years and years for the sake of it taking years. I'm sure if you're coming to this channel and you're serious about trading goals, you want to make sure that you succeed to the highest level, the most, not the fastest, but the most effective and efficient way possible, where you've got good foundations, right? I'm sure you'd all agree with that. However, if you have no accountability, you run the risk of just going through the motions. So what happens, you tend to find traders, again, in the same situation where they've been trading for a couple of years, but they've not really traded. What they've done is they've just gone on YouTube for a period of time, or they've signed up to a course and not really logged in and not really attended any live sessions or webinars. They've not really done the groundwork that moves the needle in the direction for you to actually get to the next levels of growth and really go through it. There's a different level of focus when you have real intention behind what you do. Now, what accountability does is that forces that implementation for you to actually succeed. Because let's say, for example, you've got a partner in the community that you're in, for example, and you've got a weekly check-in, or you've got a bi-weekly or a monthly check-in. Well, you're going to be embarrassed if you don't do the work that you need to do. You're able to commit and say, right, this is what I'm going to be focusing on for this month. Let's check in with a month and see how we got on. It's not a calling out session, it's accountability. And what you find is by doing that, is it forces you to do the things that you need to do. Now you might be thinking, you shouldn't need to be forced. Well, to some degree, I completely agree with that. But sometimes you can't write people off. Sometimes they just need a bit of a prompt in the right direction, and accountability is brilliant for that. And then once you get to that stage, you can have true accountability in yourself, because the realest person you need accountability with is yourself, nobody else. Does it help by having an accountability partner? 100%. And it makes it fun. It makes it exciting that you're able to check in with that and then push each other and say, right, this is what I found. This is how far I am in the journey right now. Let's push each other and let's do something different. Maybe let's meet up. Let's do another call, and it gets exciting when you do that, because trading is one of these things that, as you guys can agree with, it gets very lonely. It can get really sometimes tedious at times. So you have to spice it up. You have to make things exciting. You have to put rewards in place for you to do what you need to do, because sometimes it's very tedious work, but that's what gets the results. So if you don't have accountability in your life, it'll be very difficult for you to succeed. Will you get some level of results? Of course. You might already be someone right now that is naturally quite an accountability type person, where you can just hold yourself accountable. When you write something down, you do it. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. You stick to your word. You might already be someone and you're thinking, well, Mark, I already have that. Great. Well, having someone else that has a similar mindset to you, that's going to demand more from you, because there's always going to be someone that can demand a little bit more. A little bit like the gym. Imagine you go to do bench press, for example. You could probably demand a lot from yourself depending on what type of mentality you have. However, you're always going to be able to demand more from when that moment that you think you've pushed yourself to the limit and you've got someone saying, one more, I'm literally right there for you. You're sure you resonate with those reps. And it's that sometimes that small rep, that last one, is the big difference. Not so much that it's going to put you in shape, but it's the mentality of you thinking you've got nothing in the tank, but you still have something more. That's where accountability comes in, where you've got someone there to push you. Don't underestimate how powerful that is in trading. You think you can lock yourself in a room, just learn content, you're just going to become a successful trader? Very few percentage of people do that. The ones that are in a community have people around them that are pushing them, they've got goals, they can check in with people, because at each stage in your journey, sometimes you're going to come up at hurdles that you didn't know existed. You're going to think you cracked it. I've been there. I've seen many traders do this. They actually get a decent amount of results. They think they've cracked it. They stop doing what got them there in the first place, just ever so slightly. It's really subtle. And then before you knew it, their egos self-sabotage them, and then they're back to ground zero where they're not getting the results anymore. Then they start questioning the system. Then they start questioning themselves, and then they're lost, they're finished. So it's important that once you have accountability, it essentially stops those things from happening, because you're always sharp, you're always checking in with someone, so the chances of you slipping into these kind of self-sabotage routes is very, very slim. So holding yourself accountable, I get it. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to know that, right, well, I said I was going to do that. You kind of can't hide. But at the same time, why are you here? You're here to not just take part. You're not here to spectate. You're here to actually get results. You're here to level up your trading. You're here to level up your life. That vision, those goals you set, you got to understand that inspiration and that mood. When you set those goals, I want to be a 6-figure plus trader. I want to quit my job. I want to generate this amount of income. I want to buy this house. I want to buy this car. I want to have this freedom. I want to travel the world. All of these things. How do you think that happens? That doesn't happen by you coasting by and thinking just because you've been trading, you've put the hours in, you've done this amount of time. We often feel like we deserve it. We feel entitled. But I've been doing this for 3 years now. But have you? What's your level of focus been when you've been doing it? Because what you've really been doing, you've been coasting, and that's no man's land. You're not going to get results there. Accountability is what is going to demand more from you to break through to the areas that you needed to break through. And once you do that, those small tweaks, that's what makes the difference. And what I absolutely love in our community is accountability is at the highest. I've been talking about this for 5 years. And if you notice, the real successful traders either have self-accountability and they have other people pushing them every step of the way. And that is where you get the best results. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode, another series of do's and don'ts. If you have any recommendations that you would like me to cover, drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to do them. But these are 2 key things, right? Don't search for the Holy Grail. It doesn't exist. The big Holy Grail is that there isn't one. And if you can just get that into your mind first and foremost, you'll actually break through all these blockages in your mind, searching for this unicorn that doesn't really exist, right? It's in your head. And the second one, having that accountability, is going to push you every step of the way, keep you in check for those goals that you set. Guys, we have 2022 in front of us. We have a big year ahead. There's some big goals to accomplish. These 2 things are going to help you out massively. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will catch you in the next episode, and looking forward to the next Do's and Don'ts episode.